We're going to head this way, down this right of way path, to something very special. We are met with our first informational board. It says walk a line through time. Route that runs north to Loch Lomond, which you saw over there. That's what that view was. What you can't see for the shrubbery in front of us is the Trossachs mountain range, just essentially some of the mountains we have in the national park, some of them being the likes of Ben Aich and Ben Doonhill, Conic Hill. That's not a Ben, but it's quite nice away over there. Lots of Gaelic names in the Trossachs, and adapted ones. Honey farm in there.
Loch Lomond honey.
We've got a funny harm here, which I wasn't aware of.
I've never heard of that particular brand of honey either. It's unusual.
Honey farm. I tripped on my words, but anyway. Well,
yeah.
Unbeknownst to me, organic honey.
How are you freebie plug for Loch Lomond honey?
Do I gear some? Understand how rare they actually are. When they say the height of tick season, they mean 1 tick per square mile of grass.
Don't you? She's been worked in a while.
Well, no.
This is obviously not been worked in a while, I don't think.
Yeah, well, according to the unicorn, it's been the same since 1865, so...
That's what I read. The fields and the hedges have not changed much since their original layout. Butterfly. Sorry, I get distracted there, folks. According to the article that I read on the history of this path and the surrounding landscape, is that the hedges in the fields have not changed since 1865, if you can believe that. It's definitely, it's honeysuckle, my favourite.
Stop.
I'm just looking around about me as we're walking down through this meadow. It's lovely. There's buttercups and grass, and there's honeysuckle and sort of like whatever the white flowers are in the bushes. I don't know their name. Maybe somebody else can tell me. But anyway, it's just absolutely gorgeous. Danger.
I'm sure it's not as bad as it looks. You see, it's fine.
Okay.
Well, back to the subject of clegs.
There's one on you. Wait a sec.
I'll get the gate. Well, on the subject of biting creepy crawlies, clegs, horseflies, they appear to be a bit of a detrimental one here today. The bear got by one just now. Oh.
Unicorn likes to see things like ivy and other
Strange
stuff that's symbiotic on trees.
There's the bear's going to get clegged again. Ticks aren't the problem.
Or as wild as it is. Keep missing.
There's lots of plants to be smacked with here as well. I mean, none of them are poisonous or anything, but they still hurt. Especially the jaggies like thorns. Ow, my joggers. Through the gate we go. Whilst trying not to disturb the cows.
Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody knows, but it's well worth reiteration. When you're on a walk like this and you're coming through farmland that has cows or sheep or anything like that, stay to the far side as you can, and know the code before you come, and use and stick to that code so that you don't. Hi, cows. So that you don't upset them, because I think they're a wee bit upset right now.
Well, maybe that's because the unicorn's screaming and attracting their attention because she's deaf and doesn't know what she's saying. Cows are very sensitive animals. And they've got very smelly shit.
No shit, Sherlock.
Two cows in a field, one called Bert and one called Willie. Bert says to Willie, "What are they walking windows doing walking through our field?" There's lots of very deep
Too muddy, too wet.
cow prints. It's not wet at all, or muddy.
Well, the bridge has been closed. The Aber Bridge. But this was around 2022 or something.
They've closed mean indefinitely or for repairs.
I think they had closed it for repair. Whoa. I'm not going to stop that. So there it is. There's the Aber Bridge. Should we cross it?
It looks quite supported by mud. Watch that nail there on the outside one.
Right, so I would suggest that as we cross this, you agree, Jack? Stay on the right hand side.
Yep, one at a
What do you
time.
think, Unicorn?
One at a time, me.
And go gentle.
One at a time, gentle. So, there first.
And you've got something to hold on to as well. But unfortunately, I think I might have to use the centre one a wee bit as well because I'm holding on to the camera.
Well, just be careful. It's got big steel support beams through it, so it should be alright.
And step as close as you can to the crossbeam.
Yeah, because that's where most of the... Oh!
Don't pull too hard on this.
Yeah, I see that.
Me next.
If you want. I'll go last. Right, now the unicorn's going over. Just hold your stick up. Be careful. Don't go too fast. Watch that rackety bit you're coming up to.
Okay.
I did mean the fence.
And here comes Jack, taking it nice and slow.
Man, that's sketchy. I said that is sketchy.
My own advice on it is don't do this.
We're a little bit crazy. But also we have an understanding of where its strengths are and aren't, so we know where to put our feet. Oh, bloody hell. Yeah, the wood's definitely starting to rot a bit.
So it's, let's say it's been closed, but it's also been open unofficially.
If you're crazy enough.
Because if there's anybody interested in repairing this, you probably have to talk to Garterharden officials or whatever, I don't know.
It might be the Loch Lomond National Park, because there's a notice there about the bridge. As you can see, it says in the notice the Aber Bridge is hazardous. Please do not use. Now, obviously, that is a safety notice for your own interest of safety. Don't do what we just did.
It does show an alternative local route, but since we don't tend to bother about these kind of things, we're just going to go this way anyway.
You can have a seat first.
We've just come off of the Aber right away path that take you back to Garterharn. So if you're coming from the RSPB way, you won't get lost. Take that path. And over here is a wee marker that shows you we're going to the right.
Walking Wanderers is not liable for any injuries acquired crossing dodgy bridges as per inspiration from our content.
I don't know about you, Unicorn, but this is rather lovely. I think this is rather lovely.
It is nice. It is lovely. It's very wild and just all the everything's just been allowed to grow naturally. And it's just all amazing.
I think we might have GG's coming round the corner shortly.
It is.
Anybody that doesn't know what a GG is, we think it's Scottish slang or some kind of Scottish slang for horses.
It's because
It is.
the jockeys go,
It's quite nice.
gee, or giddy up,
Unicorn, please stop.
Well, we've come to Wee Junction and the riders on the horses have gone. And we're taking the right, aren't we, Unicorn?
I have absolutely no idea. You're the one that knows the route.
Unicorn's lost. It's a good job, Yak and I know where we're going.
This is the Aber Mill, which was established by the looks of things in 1806. Now, we haven't actually taken any footage of the Aber Mill because there's someone obviously living in it today. But back when the farmers were doing their fields and whatnot, they were forbidden by law from grinding their own flour, so they had to bring their fruit and all the rest of it here and pay the miller a fee for him to do it or her to do it for them.
Well, we've arrived back at the junction. We went the wrong way. But at least we found the Aber Mill. What does that tell us? Always use your GPS, or you might just get lost. Nobody's to blame. We're all responsible for that one. Yes, use your Google Maps or whatever you want to use, and we're going to go left. That wasn't Unicorn's fault. We're all guilty of that one. And there you go. The telephone box. Telephone box.
Yeah.
It's a post box. Don't ask me where the word telephone box goes from.
Oh, look, there's a wee yellow arrow pointing this way.
Yep.
Oh, whatever.
There wasn't one down there.
Telephone boxes and post boxes are both red, so I suppose it makes sense that you'd make
This is the entrance to Loch Lomond National Nature Reserve.
What is this, Unicorn?
It's the Loch Lomond National Nature Reserve path.
You can't
It'll take you to all these places here.
Yeah, you can't come in here. It's a private road, so no vehicles. You can walk in. Feel free.
No unauthorised vehicles allowed beyond this point.
Usual countryside code applies, but
Yep.
we know you won't destroy anything. It's lovely here.
Listen to the birdies. I love that noise. And when you're walking, just keep your eyes out for the wee yellow arrows on the fence post or the fence or even hedges. They'll keep you going in the right direction.
Also, keep your eyes peeled for big giant dogs bashing into through fences.
Yeah, big one, big. Well,
Big Dalmatian.
it's a Dalmatian, but I didn't think Dalmatians were as big as that. It's been crossed by a.
Maybe it's a cross between a Dalmatian and a Great Dane.
It was about 4 foot at the shoulder.
I wasn't putting my hand through the fence to go, good dog. Might not have had a hand.
No.
Mm,
Well, at least it's not a, what do you call it? A Tibetan Mastiff.
They're lovely though. I wouldn't want to be a beta or anything like that though. Can come face to face with one of them.
Imagine being on the aggressive end of a Tibetan Mastiff.
That'd be huge.
Those
To
you
give you an idea of a reference.
Oh.
Look at me.
Stop. Right, look at you.
Look at me. Right, look at the size of me. A Tibetan Mastiff's head would be about here. Or like as the X is maybe there in comparison to me. That's a dog.
So it's over 4 foot, and interestingly, look what's on the telegraph pole. Could you imagine the size of the poof of that beast?
Your dog, your poop, take it home. There's a sheep screaming at us. Might be a ram, that'd be worse. But then rams have big deep voices and that wasn't very deep, so it'll be a sheep.
Another junction, but there is a signal, arrow, whatever you want to call it, over here.
We just saw a family of farmers
It goes
moving.
straight ahead.
Oh, we just saw a family of farmers moving sheep from one field to another. I was just saying, imagine what it would be like being a shepherd in biblical times when you didn't have those pens to move the sheep into for your head count.
There's a couple of houses. It looks like we're going straight ahead.
Yep, straight ahead.
Oh, that's lovely in here.
That is nice.
Okay.
It's a little bit rocky here, but it's certainly not the Everday Bridge. Anyway, how do you think old-timey shepherds back then would have caught their sheep if they started running away? Do you think they would have sprinted after them and caught them with a...
Well, they had those big kind of
Yeah, crook.
wooden crook things that they would put round their neck, didn't they? I would imagine they would have had sheepdogs of some sort even back then.
I don't know. I've never been a shepherd in my life.
Oh.
But then, the bear suggested off camera that perhaps they trained the sheep with their crooks.
Mm-hmm.
Taught them.
Talking about sheep and cattle brings us to another interesting point
What's that?
about the areas that we've covered in our previous videos. We've talked about the clans of Scotland. This is yet another area that harks back to that. Back in the 1800s, even going back as far as the 1700s, they had McFarlanes and McGregors, who, as we all know, were very prone to cattle rustling, sheep rustling, and the odd pig and whatever, goat.
It's not very secure, is it? So, where were you about the goats and that?
The goats and stuff, yeah. As we know that sometimes the landowners get that fed up that they basically just sold their farms to all of the tenants, and then the tenants would then pay them a fee for living on the land, and after that the cattle raids actually stopped, believe it or not.
Why do you think they stopped?
I don't know, maybe because it was in the hands of what I suppose you would call the common people, as opposed to the landed gentry that the earls and all the rest of it were.
Because they were paying the anti-stug tax.
Yeah, possibly.
I'm going to nick your sheep.
Mm-hmm.
As with every Loch Lomond Sussex National Park Reserve or zone managed by rangers, no fires, no camping unless by permit, although some areas you can't in general. Obviously there's also places you can wild camp, but usually not on a reserve, just for courtesy to the species that live here.
Somebody on the beach.
Is this familiar? Yes.
Yes, this is familiar. You are now entering the RSPB Scotland Loch Lomond. Enjoy your visit. This is where we stopped that day.
Eh?
This is where we stopped when we went on.
Ah. I see. Strange mechanism.
Sherwood.
So that's us going into Shorewood.
Yes. As you come through the gate that tells you you're entering the RSPB Scotland, there's a wee set of steps here that'll take you down onto the beach. That's the bear showing you right now. It's a lovely wee area. Now we're on the shores of the loch now, and behind me, as you can see, there's a long line of hills, mountains, whatever, which is where the Highland boundary fault separates the lowlands from the Highlands. There beyond that, obviously, you're going up into places like Glencloe and Ballahoolish, etc., etc., as opposed to here in Loch Lomond.
What we found really odd is there's a sign back there that says, "You are here." But we're certainly not there. We're down on the shoreline, and the "You are here" one looks as if it's from part of the RSPB. So if anybody from the RSPB is having a look at it, RSPB Gartaharn. Yep. So that's where they're saying we are. Way up there. You're right. The hub in the car park.
Wrong map.
And as I said, you should maybe fix it. I don't think anybody's going to get lost as such, right enough. And there we go, that's Shorewood Beach, which we were at. The next one is Net Bay, and that's where we're going to. Through there. That's where you go to SPB.
There's benches up there as well for whom it interests.
Oh, that's where there is.
There is. With a big fern tree, a big fern leaf
Lovely,
carved on it.
lovely tables in the top.
Yes, absolutely lovely table. I found the seat Look at this lovely wee shaded seat, shaded by this lovely big oak tree here. And I'm just having a 5 minutes respite. Ow. Yak's abusing me again.
Well, I'm happy there's benches because it means I don't need to put your chair up.
Yes, that helps.
Like going to hang it on the benches or anything, you know, honey?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's plant top.
That's bad talk. Nice silver birch behind you, Bear. Love the colour then.
You ever wonder why silver birches are silver?
I have never.
Me too. I haven't either.
Because they were made that way.
We don't know what makes their bark silver.
Whatever pigment is in it.
Yeah. But why is that?
There's got to be some sort of reason for it.
Well, same as look at the green in the fern.
That's true.
Yeah.
Chlorophyll.
Fern
Yeah,
has lots of different colours.
Most plants are green, whereas a birch tree is an outlier, and all of the trees it's silver and the rest aren't. So why is it silver? I know you get red trees, but they're basically brown trees but lighter, so why do you get an entirely different coloured tree that is silver?
Like the Canadian redwoods that we saw when we did the Dirleton one. They were very red and they were lovely too.
Colour's an amazing thing.
Oh look, a hornet.
Yeah.
Relax, it's gone now. Girls, they broke it, don't make it worse. She's going to break into song. Don't break into song again.
There's a wee path down to the left and it'll take you down right onto the shoreline again. And every now and again you can get a gorgeous viewpoint just out onto that loch and any of the mountains that are around. Last time we were here it was barren. It's like a jungle now.
Right down deep in the middle of the jungle. Humbungo! I don't think they drink evening dish anymore.
Heavy gate. I've got it.
We're out of the woods now. We've got less sparks. Oh, lovely. The meadow up here to the right.
We were out of the woods after we crossed those loosely put together bits of wood, posing as a bridge.
Talking about that bridge, or what we call the bridge, brings me to another interesting point of history, and that James the VII of Scotland and the II of England, when he came to the throne, there was a rebellion thrown against him by the English and the Duke of Argyll here in the west of Scotland because they were all Protestants and they didn't want James, who was a Roman Catholic obviously, bringing in his theories and religious beliefs to them. So there was a thing to sort of like obviously kill him, I would imagine. But when they got to that point in the area, that bridge, they couldn't cross over it because there were redcoats on the other side, English redcoats that is. And so the Duke of Argyll turned and went towards Dumbarton and lit a fire to make it look as if they were there. So he basically escaped, but he was captured later and taken back to Edinburgh and tried for treason, and he was beheaded.
Chop chop.
Chop chop.
Right. Won't say anything about traitor.
Traitor son. When you get to this point, there's a gate here that will take you down to the Net Bay viewpoint. And in the summer, you might even see the ospreys trying to catch fish on the loch.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Let's go.
Do, 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 do.
We've come down to the Net Bay.
Net View vape.
Net Bay viewpoint. We've come to the Net Bay viewpoint.
Net View.
And we've managed to find a couple of seats and What are these that are carved on them? Like, do you think it's geese?
I don't know, it's like ducks, geese, probably geese.
You might not be able to see the swan out there, but
Don't really know why I'm doing that. Well, alas, we're not going to Hendrick because we don't want to get muddy.
But it's only about 200 metres further up if you're planning to go that way.
Hendrick viewpoint.
Hendrick viewpoint.
We've reached the end of our journey.
I'm the unicorn saying happy rainbows.
I'm a windmill.
I'm just the guy with a camera. Anyway, thanks for watching, people. See you in the next one.